What's up? So I'm going to be starting a new YouTube channel, and I wanted the first video to be just like an introduction of who I am, what I do, and what this channel is going to be about. Because I don't really know what I'm doing. So that makes it fun. Um, my name is Katie Schellenberger. I am 45 years old. And in my 20s, I lived in California, Riverside, California, and I played coffee houses. I played guitar. I did like open mic nights, and then eventually I got good enough and had a gentleman by the name of David Blakely play with me. So we got, paid gigs versus just doing open mic nights. And then the real world hit, and I had to get a job. So prior to moving out to California, I had graduated from Penn State with an animal bioscience Bachelor of Science degree. BS. It's BS. Because I don't use it today at all. But you know what? I have a lot of animal knowledge now that I, can part on to my friends if they ask. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. How do I want to say this? Anyway, I had to pay the bills, right? So I had, at the time I was working Staff Pro, which I don't know if they even still exist out there, but it's concert security, right? It was perfect because Dave and I, we worked it together, and then we would try to like network our own stuff, not peddle it or anything, but like meet people that might help us break out into something a little better, right? So I would get paid to see concerts, which was awesome, and but it wasn't enough money. I needed something, a little more steady and permanent. So animal control officer I became for 5 years, and I worked in at the time it was a county position, and it was in San Bernardino County in Rancho Cucamonga. I would say that name to people in Pennsylvania, and they'd be like, Rancho Cucamonga? Yeah, I didn't come up with the name, yeah. But what's funny is, like, living out there, I would see, like, Philadelphia Street or whatever, like, real close to Ontario, the airport and stuff. I'd see a bunch of Pennsylvania names, and I'm like, y'all steal. Why you steal our names? So I currently live in Pennsylvania. And that's where I grew up, right? I mean, hello, I went to Penn State. But I started playing guitar when I was about 14. I was allowed to bring home one from high school. Like I think it was maybe 8th grade, we were learning guitar in music class. And I picked it up rather quickly, and we were allowed to take it home one night, and I did. And my dad, for my 14th birthday, bought me a guitar and lessons. So from there, I don't even remember how long I took lessons for. It wasn't for that long, maybe a year. And I still remember some of the stuff I did in that music class. Like we learned the bass line to Barney Miller's, like the TV show. But there was one that I wish I could still remember. It was like a Mexican Spanish song that I absolutely adored. It was a lot of finger picking in it. It was difficult, and that's what I liked. I was like, this is cool. This is challenging, and I like it. But I can't remember it. I don't even remember what it was called, so I could look it up and relearn it, but that's not happening. So I apologize for the grainy video quality. It's a 5-year-old computer. But I'm using OBS software, so I connect it to a mixer and whatever. So I play guitar, I have a drum machine. I don't play out anymore, I just do open mic nights. I want a gig, don't get me wrong, because I'm getting better, and I feel like I'm ready for something like that if we could just get out of lockdown and I could practice some more being in front of people, because I've been doing Facebook Lives, but it's not the same. I feel a little more free to, free to, mess up on live than I do to, when I'm out in public. So, while on lockdown, I am currently a realtor. When I moved back to Pennsylvania, I was a veterinary technician for, I think 11 years. So animal control for 5, worked at a vet hospital for 8 years prior to that, and then vet tech for 11. So 8, 13, 11 is a long time of being with animals. So while I was working that job, I also learned, I went to real estate classes because I thought, you know what? At the time, I had my house listed, and I asked my realtor, I said, is this really hard to do? Because I feel like I could do this. And so, it turns out she had the same birthday as me. I actually joined the brokerage that she was working with at the time. I worked both jobs for a year, and then my dad passed away, and I said, you know what? I don't need the stress of the animals anymore. I want to be my own boss, because realtors are independent contractors, right? If you get your broker's license, you can be your own business entity, whatever. But as a realtor, you're an independent contractor. You set your schedule. They have like things they want you to do, but for the most part, you do whatever you want, right? And how much money you make is completely up to you because you're on commission. But while on lockdown in Pennsylvania, we were not considered essential from like March. Who's calling me? Hi, this is Katie. The life of a realtor. So I get phone calls, right? And as a realtor, you don't know who it could be. It could be another realtor. It could be a client. Most of my clients I have on my phone, but it could be somebody that I don't know yet. So I have to answer the phone, and that was, hello, this is your electric company, blah, blah, blah. With an apology, and I'm like, whatever, I don't know what you want. Hang up the phone. So anyway, we were on lockdown from like mid-March until mid-May. My buyers are not like really gung-ho anxious right now to be jumping into this crazy market, because it's literally like no inspections, top of the price, like over asking, and just ridiculousness. So if you have, not the perfect thing, then you ain't gonna get the house. And so a lot of them are frustrated, and I'm frustrated. It's just, I'm over this market. It needs to stop, because it's gonna bust. Anyway, back to music. So this channel is for me to record my personal music, my versions of songs that I love. So covers that I like, or that I feel, are me and my version of that song. Sometimes I do ones it's like a little way off of what it originally was, but sometimes I do it as close to the original as I possibly can. It just depends on the song and whether or not I can play it that way. But I don't know if you guys ever heard of The Box. So when I moved out in California, it was 1997, Moreno Valley. I was living with my aunt and uncle. They had this show. It was almost like an MTV, but you could dial in and call in and request songs. And for the first time ever is when I saw a video by Ani DeFranco for a song called In and Out, and it was promoting her Living in Clip double live CD. Now, at this point, she would have been around for a while, but I had never heard of her because she's completely independent, right? She's not on a label. She has her own label, Righteous Babe Records. But I had never heard of her. And that song fit my life at that moment so perfectly that it was an instant, like, wow moment, right? But she inspired me to pick up my guitar again because, 14 to 22, I didn't really have time between high school and college to be like focusing on music, right? So when I moved out to California, I had my guitars. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to try and become a musician. So fast forward to 20 some odd years later, I'm 45 and I am picking this back up. So at the time I stopped, I had about 45 songs of my own because we would do like 3-hour sets. Actually, maybe 43 of them were mine. Dave had like 2. We had some that we wrote together. We had our own individual songs that we would do, and then most of them I wrote, and he added stuff to them. We made a CD. We were just called Kate Buck because that was my name at the time. I hadn't gotten married yet. So there you have that. I'm currently married with a child. We've been married for, it'll be 11 years in October, which is crazy to me because I was with somebody else and married them for a while and then got divorced and never had any children with him. But this gentleman, it was literally like 2 weeks after I got my divorce papers that I went out on a date with him, even though I had been talking, we were separated, my previous husband. So I was on Cupid.com trolling. I had lost a bunch of weight. I was looking good, not like I currently look. But anyway, I have about 18 original songs, of which 5 are just from October of 2019. When inspiration strikes, you take advantage of it. And I have a person who's my muse. I'm not going to say who that is. But it doesn't matter because as long as they're in my life, they're going to be an inspiration to me. And then I have 24 covers that range all the way from like current, like Dance Monkey, so Tones and I, Bishop Briggs, Billie Eilish, Larkin Poe. Those are some of the newest people that I covered. And then I go all the way back to Paul Simon, Simon and Garfunkel, Dolly Parton, Bonnie Raitt, Melissa Etheridge, Indigo Girls. One Ani DeFranco song is all I've learned so far because she's crazy good and I cannot mimic her for nothing. Bob Marley. So to give you a range, I don't have a specific standard when it comes. Oh, Stand By Me, Lean on Me, like because we were in lockdown. So I was trying to be inspirational in some of the choices that I picked. But I don't have I would say I have a wide range of music that I love. I love rap. The only one that I really can't get into overall as a genre is country. And yet I feel like some people think my stuff is country, but it's really it's alternative folk is what I would call it. Because you can write a song and it doesn't always have to be structured as verse, chorus, bridge, blah, 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 right? Sometimes I just have a rhythm and it repeats. So, I don't know. Anyway, that is me. So if you're watching this channel, just remember I'm not a professional musician. I am just trying to express myself in a way that everyone would understand me. And if I would have had videos like this of my father, of anything that he would have said or done in his life that he recorded, I would kill for that right now. So I'm kind of putting this stuff out there for my daughter so that when I go, because right now she's 9, so she's not thinking about, hey, my mom might be gone someday, right? That's not what's on her brain. But 30 years from now, when I may or may not be here, it may be something that she could come back to and be like, my mom was pretty cool, or I'm so glad that she did this for me. But that's kind of what I think about when I do some of this stuff. And I want to show her that it doesn't matter how old you are or how late in life you decide to pursue something that you really want to do. It's completely worth doing whenever you want to do it. And since I live by my heart more than my head, there you have it. So, that's my introduction to me. I am all for comments, but I do live by the rule, if you don't have anything nice to say, there really isn't any need to say it. You can criticize and you can say, you know what, I think you should try this or that, but don't just beat me down because you can, because that's not cool. All right? All right, everybody. You have a wonderful day.